In the news this week, the Church of England commends plans to bless same-sex partners. Christian MPs welcome the government's defence of free speech at universities. And the CPS drops charges against a pro-lifer arrested for silently praying near an abortion clinic. Hello. The Church of England has voted to welcome plans to allow churches to bless same-sex partners. The General Synod supported Bishop's recommendations that prayers of dedication, thanksgiving, and for God's blessing may be offered for those who have been through a same-sex civil ceremony. Same-sex weddings will still not be allowed in churches. The motion was approved by a majority in the House of Clergy, the House of Laity, as well as the House of Bishops. The Christian Institute's Deputy Director, Kieran Kelly, said the Church had chosen culture over Christ.
This is terribly sad. The Church of England has chosen to affirm the culture of the day rather than to take a stand for Christ and biblical truth. They may say that doctrine hasn't changed, but that doesn't really fool anyone. And God does not bless what he has said in his word is wrong. And the truth is that marriage is only and can only be between one man and one woman to the exclusion of all others and for life. And it's important that Christians inside and outside the Church of England continue to proclaim that truth.
The Welsh Government plans to follow Scotland in attempting to make it much easier for people to change their legal sex. First Minister Mark Drakeford recently refused to rule out legislation similar to Scotland's Gender Self-ID Bill, which has been blocked by Westminster. Now the Welsh Government has revealed it will soon ask the UK Government to devolve powers relating to gender identity. Its LGBTQ+ action plan for Wales also reiterated its aim to ban all aspects of so-called conversion therapy, saying it would seek any necessary additional powers to enable us to achieve this. Radical LGBT activist Jane Ozanne is a member of its working group on the issue. She says she wants to ban gentle, non-coercive prayer. Christian MPs have welcomed the government's defence of free speech on university campuses. The House of Lords voted to scrap a clause in the Higher Education Freedom of Speech Bill, which would have allowed academics and students to seek compensation in the courts if their free speech rights were breached. But the House of Commons has now reinstated the clause, arguing civil proceedings are an important means of obtaining a remedy for breach of duties imposed by the bill. It will now return to the Lords. MP Miriam Cates supported the position, saying it would bolster free speech and perhaps nudge us back in the direction of truth and reality. In his speech, Danny Kruger added his agreement.
We need counter-revolutionary voices, voices of people who believe in this country and its values, who are proud of our history, who believe in biology, in the rights and obligations of parents, and other common sense ideas. They need the freedom to speak without fear of abuse, of being cancelled, silenced, and losing their job.
And finally, charges against a pro-life campaigner who was arrested for silently praying in a censorship zone around a Birmingham abortion clinic have been dropped. March for Life UK's director, Isabel Vaughan-Spruce, was charged for protesting and engaging in an act that is intimidating to service users, despite the fact the centre was closed at the time. However, the Crown Prosecution Service said it may pursue the case if more evidence emerges, prompting Miss Vaughan-Spruce to go to court to obtain a clear verdict. Speaking to the Institute, she explained that so-called buffer zones could result in many more people being treated as criminals.
I was really pleased to hear that CPS had dropped the charges. Clearly, that shows that someone somewhere recognises how farcical this whole situation is. But the problem is it leaves me in a really uncertain position, because whilst they've said they've dropped the charges due to lack of evidence, they've also said that they reserve the right to pick up the charges again. So I decided really that the best thing to do was for us to continue to go to court and to actually get some clarity to the situation. So we've actually got a hearing date, which is Thursday, the 16th of February. So we'll be going to the Magistrates' Court to find out with a little more clarity, as I say, whether people are allowed to, in the eyes of the law, are allowed to pray in their own minds near the vicinity of an abortion centre.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until then, goodbye.